Okay, we're live for the first EV News Live. Where are you guys watching from? Has everyone had a chance to watch the EV News episode 2? It's good to see these supercharger teams starting to pump out some new chargers around the world. There's a few under construction now in Australia, which is good to see. Actually, I just got a new one today. Stand by 1 second, I'll see if I can share this. It's a new V4 supercharger that just got noticed today under construction. And this one's in Griffith, New South Wales. There we go. So yeah, it looks like it's in a pretty advanced stage of construction. There's at least 7 or 8 chargers there by the looks of things, and all V4 cabinets. So good to see another Australian one. That'll be in the next episode. The other good one was the Tesla body repair centre operating up in Brisbane. So there's 2 of them now, one in Sydney, one in Brisbane. Should help with some of the repair prices and time frames and that kind of thing. What's everyone driving here? We've got all Tesla drivers. It's a shame, yeah, the SNXs not being available in right-hand drive. While you're typing there, the other bit of good news that was I was pleased to report on was the new insurance guru. That will be a interesting to see how that affects insurance pricing. I know a lot of people have had problems with getting good insurance pricing with Teslas. I think the combination of the repair centres and hopefully some more education out there may help. Hopefully help reduce those prices. Okay. Performance to long range. Okay. Yeah, long range is pretty quick. I haven't driven the performance yet, but definitely throws you back. Go by the specs, I would have thought there'd be a pretty noticeable difference. What did you guys think of the new airless tyre they seem to be testing? I know they've done it previously. I think Bridgestone was the previous one they tried, and found that it was a little bit too much of a impact on comfort and rolling resistance. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I agree. Even the standard range is definitely fast enough for any normal sort of driving. The long range is great, gives you the extra bit of acceleration, but yeah, it's I definitely performance if you're going on the track and that kind of stuff would be great, but I don't know. I don't see the need myself for the extra cash just to be able to go a little bit faster occasionally. I find the standard range, anytime you need that acceleration, it's always there and it's always more than anyone else has got. So talking about the tyre, I'm guessing there. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it'd be handy. They're certainly lighter. You haven't got that problem with punctures and that kind of thing. But I don't know. It seems like it hasn't worked in the past. So we've got a few more in the viewing. Anyone else got any comments as far as Teslas? Do you all drive Teslas? Anyone else who's looking for a Tesla or hasn't decided yet, or just drives a different type of EV? Let us know what you think and what your current experiences are with Teslas or other EVs. I'm keen to hear. Good question. I started out fairly, I wouldn't say negative on EVs. I just heard all the garbage you hear, and I thought they cost $200,000 each for the base model Tesla. Thought they caught fire every second day and all that garbage. I started looking for a new car. I generally do a novated lease, so I rotate them fairly regularly. And I was considering hybrid. Glad I didn't make that mistake, but I was considering that, and happened to work with somebody who had a Tesla, and started asking a couple of questions and finding out, exactly how cheap they were to run, that they weren't, 200 grand each, and really, started doing my sums and realised it was just a no-brainer as far as, a hybrid wasn't the option. It wasn't the way to go. It might have been 5 or 10 years ago, but with BEVs as they are now, I don't see any benefit in going hybrid. And just up into the sums and found out about the new novated lease options with no FBT. It definitely made a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, once you test drive one, it's a whole new experience, and that one pedal driving, amazing EV. I agree. That doesn't make sense these days. But I just once I test drove it, there was no going back. I definitely knew it. Then I hired one. Did a trip from Canberra to Brisbane and back in a hired Tesla. Actually, if you guys watch Tesla and the Gong, it was one of his cars. So I hired that, did the trip up to Brisbane and back, and realised that I don't want to road trip in anything else. So the road trip experience was my last sort of hurdle to overcome, to know that it was as good or better than ICE, and I certainly found it better. As you guys know, I did the road trip in the new car just recently down to Adelaide, and we'll be doing another one shortly to Brisbane. Yeah, feel free if you want to jump on. You don't have to have camera on if you don't want to. More than welcome. Has anyone been able to check out the Cybertruck? I know they haven't been to Brisbane yet, Kev, but did you check it out, Sensei? No, I haven't checked it out with EV, Sensei. Sorry, I'll display what I'm talking about so that people can see. No, I've just got my EV card recently, but I haven't done any referral codes with them. Yeah, amazing EV. You're right. It's just, I think I did 3. No, I might have done 4 stops. So we did one really quick one. Yeah. I think one of them was only like a 5-minute stop, but it was just, it's just so much better. You can stop, plug in, and you can do whatever you want. You don't have to stand there holding the nozzle and filling up and then trying to get something to eat and use the bathrooms after that. You can just plug in, go get a good meal, and I loved it. Oh, good, Kev, no worries. Yeah, so did you get to check out the Cybertruck? Rest of the people, I know Kev hasn't been to Brisbane yet. I think it's going to Brisbane next, but I'm not certain on that. But definitely well worth checking out. Yeah, I thought someone said late July it's going to be in Brisbane, so maybe lucky to check it out. Yeah, so if you get a chance to check it out, definitely do. Did you get a chance to see it, Sensei? Whereabouts are you located, Amazing EV? Thanks very much, Kev. I mean, it's I'm still very amateurish, I know, and not using great equipment either, so that doesn't help. But definitely trying my best. It's just a bit of a hobby at the moment. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for the kind words. Definitely appreciate it. And yeah, the Australian content seems to be lacking. And if I can try and help out a little bit and get the word out there, then I'm happy to do it. Yeah, I agree. Amazing. It's to see it in the flesh is just totally different to seeing it in pictures and videos. I was I was amazed at how impressive it was. I wasn't particularly fond of it. I thought it looked all right, pictures, but seeing it in person really made a big difference, I think. Yeah, the Sydney, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, definitely all the East Coast up to, until you get past Brisbane, at least, is just so easy these days. Sydney to Adelaide, that's improving. I didn't try go the direct route. Now I probably would, given how that charging infrastructure along there has sort of improved quite a bit. But yeah, hopefully we'll see more and more superchargers being installed now that the momentum seems to be picking up again. And we'll see how that goes. But definitely agree. I mean, you don't have to think about it on the East Coast. There's certainly, yeah, but when I looked at that route from Canberra to Adelaide direct, there's a lot of two-stall EV or similar chargers, but I'm not sure what brand they were. But my problem with that is it's only two stalls. If it goes down, you're screwed. There's no sort of warning that whether they're up or down inside the car anyway. So I would be a little bit wary. I'm sure there's plenty of options if it is down, but I just prefer to rely on the Tesla supercharger network and at least have that as a backup if I'm going to try somewhere else. The EV chargers I did try on the way down were great, but having that backup there in case they aren't working is certainly a lifesaver. Yeah, Shepparton's where we stopped on the way through. Yeah, I don't mind going a little bit off the highway if it's a decent stop. But Albury is a great example. I find that's it's a little bit off the highway, but it's also a great place to get a feed and charge up while you're there. So I found that I stopped there both directions and really enjoyed it. But yeah, the two-station chargers are just, you can't really rely on that. You need the 6 to 12 or more. That way there's not going to be a queue, or not likely to be a queue unless it's really busy times. And at least with the Tesla, it'll tell you ahead of time so you can make other plans if you need to. Haven't tried it. Amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could do it pretty easily. Yeah. Obviously, wouldn't do the return trip. I've only got a rear-wheel drive, but it certainly do Canberra to Sydney. Yeah. It's also good to see the new data center being built in Giga, Texas. I'm keen to see how that changes things once they start opening up the hardware 4 stuff later in the year. It's going to be interesting. Cairns to Adelaide. Wow. Okay. That would be an interesting trip for sure. Yeah, it's certainly be a bit of a challenging one. What did you guys think of this VW and Rivian agreement? Seems to be hopefully a lifeline for Rivian, who are certainly losing a lot of money at the moment on their sales. Whether VW can help with that or not, but remains to be seen. I think we can certainly do with some more of trucks and utes and those kind of things in Australia. EV. I saw the F-150 Lightning is now available, but starts at $250,000. I don't see that getting much traction, unfortunately. And they're still losing money on those vehicles at $250,000, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, that's a lot of money for a car compared to what you can get in the ICE world. So I really can't see that being too popular. Be interesting to see if the Cybertruck ever does come out here, what it'll be worth. But I know it'll be definitely north of $100,000. But once the standard edition comes out, it'll be interesting. Yeah, I definitely will. Sorry, I'll just. Yeah, I'll definitely do a trip report on the way up and the way back. So to see how that goes and compare it to what the ICE would have cost and that kind of thing. As always, if you've got any suggestions, any feedback on my last trip report, anything I can improve on, I know a lot of people ask for the efficiency stats, which I think are included on that last leg. Something I just don't look at anymore. It's funny. Like I mentioned it in the video, that in my old ICE vehicle, I used to look at the efficiency all the time and really try to get the most efficiency out of the petrol. But once I got to the EV, it just doesn't even matter anymore. It costs me nothing to charge up, so it's really something that I wasn't paying attention to, and certainly people will obviously like to see it. So it's good that I got reminded to do that. I'd say I think Ford have got the right idea as far as EVs go. They seem to be the most progressive of all the legacy auto. And listening to Jim Farley speak, and he really seems to have his head screwed on as far as knowing that EVs are the future, and they were the first to embrace the Tesla's charging standard in North America. So yeah, look, I think especially seeing Fisker go bankrupt, I think there's going to be more of that. But it'd be good to see some good alternatives out there. Yeah, Xpeng looks all right. Zeekr, I don't know Skywell, but yeah, I think it's good. Like I say, it's good to see. No worries, amazing. See you later. It's good to see more choice out there, and the more the better. Especially if we can get some utes and vans and those sorts of things to cover more of the markets. Interested in the timing of this live too, whether 5 p.m. is a good time. According to my stats, Sunday evenings are the best time for people to be online, according to YouTube's statistics. I'm thinking maybe if I try one at 7 p.m. or something like that, might be better. But, keen to hear your guys' feedback. Anyhow, back on Ford, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this self-driving they're claiming to be able to do in 2 years' time. I've got a suspicion that they may end up licensing FSD from Tesla, but we'll wait and see. I just don't see how they could be possibly developing their own software, their own data set. It's going to be the biggest thing, with those millions of hours of driving. Interesting. I've seen a few German channels, but not too many. It is good to get different perspectives and see how the EVs are going in different parts of the world. Certainly, especially in Scandinavian countries, the EV adoption rate has been just amazing. Saw this just the other day, and Australia's kind of really falling behind the rest of the world as far as world average being 18%, but USA and Japan are even further behind. Japan, really, I think, especially the Japanese makers have kind of really dropped the ball. Toyota and Mazda, Toyota especially, is probably the biggest cause of that. But seeing Norway at 93%, Iceland 71%, it's just really impressive. Yeah, so some of those reviews on the Autobahn are pretty cool. Some of the Model S's really opening up on the Autobahn. Yeah, I'll probably start off at every 2 weeks or something like that. We'll see how it goes, and I'll tie it to the EV news articles as I do them. But we'll see how it goes, and if it gets popular, we'll look at it and see maybe increase the frequency potentially. Is everyone aware of the Tesla 8 to the 8th event coming up? Should be interesting to see what that actually ends up being. Whether it's a new series of vehicles, or whether it's just a robotaxi concept unveiled. And if you guys saw that Rimac put out a prototype robotaxi, Again, they're claiming that they're going to have that up and running in a couple of years, but again, they've got no manufacturing, they've got no software, no data center, they haven't got millions of miles. So I think that was just a attempt for them to get ahead of the Tesla 8V8. The concept they built was very similar to the Tesla concept that's been published around the place, so it's interesting. Nice, nice. Sensei, good question. It depends on use case as well. If you've got a family, your Model Y is going to be better than the Model 3. If yeah, for a sedan, I definitely love the Model 3. It's a great compromise. It's got plenty of space. It's got good handling of a sedan. You feel like you're driving a sports car, and it's got the performance. The BYDs, I don't hate them. I certainly didn't feel that they were anywhere near up to scratch of the Tesla, but certainly it's an option there if that's what people prefer. They prefer the older style or the sort of the they don't like the minimalistic look of the Tesla. Maybe they may prefer the BYD, but I think the Model 3 at the moment is my top choice. Model Y if you need more room. It'd be interesting to see once the new Model Y comes out. I'm keen to see how that looks, and that might become our second vehicle here. But yeah, those would be my top at the moment. The Zeekas, I'm keen to see if they can actually come out here and see what they look like. Nice, Pete. Yeah, I've seen a few of the new whites, the new Model 3s in the white, and they look really good. Yeah, it is great having that off-peak rate. So there's a couple do a couple of hours free as well. I'm not sure where they're available. That's the thing too. They're not available in all states. But I'm fortunate enough to have the Powerwall home batteries, which makes a big difference. It means I can access the Amber wholesale rates, which basically means I'm getting almost free charging, and sometimes I get paid to charge, which is great. I don't know if you guys caught in that episode, I did a review of the current test software they're using for the Amber to control the battery charging, which is really good. That new silver looks really good. Let's see here. So you've got the Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Yeah, still premium. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Those first two you could probably interchange depending on what your family was like, whether you needed extra room or not. I think having 3 in the back of the Model 3 might be a bit tight. I haven't tried it in the Model 5 to be honest, but I think there's a little bit more room there, especially if you're carrying luggage and that kind of thing. Yeah, BYD. I mean, it's still very much a legacy brand in a lot of ways. I mean, they're certainly ahead of all the other legacy brands that are true legacy brands. But I think having that forced maintenance schedule and all the rest of it, and the software being so constrained and so far behind Tesla, that's the biggest thing. I've turned me off BYD. Okay, there you go. I thought I'd seen one somewhere for some reason, but must be mistaken. Yeah, Pete saying there. They're still very much they're not vertically integrated like Tesla is. They haven't got all their own software development. They're reliant on lots of pieces of software all talking together, which is going to cause a lot of problems. And the whole thing with the supercharging as well, which turned out to be a hardware issue, was a bit of a turn off. But look, it's still an option there for people who prefer that sort of a design. I think it's good to have options and good to have competition. I don't know. I love some of the stuff people have done with turning some ICE cars into EV. But I don't think I'd ever buy an ICE car unless it was a real classic like a Ferrari Testarossa or something like that. But then again, I don't know if I want that as an EV either. The EV bottom up designs are just so much better as far as they haven't got that transmission shaft all the way through the middle of the car. You haven't got all the at the front and that kind of stuff. I don't like the idea of converting ICE into EV. Although, like I say, it's cool to see a DeLorean or something like that that's been converted. Yeah, Pete, that's definitely an issue. It's the whole way the software has been integrated. The one thing, the common complaint with Tesla, I'd love to see an app store. I don't think it needs Android Auto or CarPlay. I think those are cop outs for companies that can't do their own software. But an app store would be good, and the ability to get like things like Waze and that kind of stuff. Although it's becoming less of a requirement as they improve this software, and the fact we've got some speed cameras. I know there's a lot of plans in the software for them to improve on that. So if they can improve, if they can bring the Waze-like features into the Tesla software, that'd be great. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean the only thing with the ICE conversions is there's always a lot of trade-offs because the car's been designed around an ICE engine and all the the bits that go with it. So yeah, certainly it's good to have those cars, especially the old classics and that kind of stuff. It's interesting. Is this in Germany there? Certainly, with the Tesla, you very rarely use your brakes. I try to occasionally just to make sure that I am getting not get corrosion build up and that kind of stuff. Yeah, look, I don't expect people to buy memberships. There's really no benefits at the moment. We may add some later on, but it's like I said, this is just a hobby for me at the moment. But if people want to support the channel, then that will certainly go to good use to try and improve the quality of equipment and that kind of stuff, so that I'm giving you a better experience, and hopefully we can start. I'm very keen to do some FSD driving once we get that released in Australia, and all that kind of thing. So it's purely voluntary. If you feel like shouting a half a coffee or whatever it is, $1.49 won't get you much to coffee these days, but I certainly appreciate the support. If anyone else has got any suggestions for the channel, please feel free to put them in the comments here or in the comments of my videos. I'm certainly learning a lot as I go along. As you can see, it's fairly new to me, so I'm still very much got my training wheels on, and if I can improve things and give you guys stuff that you're looking for, that's certainly I'll try to do that. Oh, thanks for that, Kev. That's really appreciated. I'm glad it's helping some people. It was interesting. I had a couple of comments that came through. I'd just done that EV Myth episode, which kind of bombed pretty badly. Ended up losing more subscribers than I had for quite a while. Oh wow! Thanks, Pete. You're the first super sticker. Thanks very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I got a couple of comments from people that had been helped out by the videos and really sort of helped them make their decisions as far as looking at a Tesla and test driving a Tesla. So that was great to see, and really sort of made it worthwhile. Oh, thanks, Kev. Jeez, wasn't expecting that. Thank you very much. So what's been the most the videos that you guys have enjoyed the most? I know seems to be the software updates seem to be the most popular as far as viewership goes. The EV news ones haven't been doing that great, but look, I think it's early days too. It may take a few of them before they start to become more widespread as far as viewership goes. But certainly the software updates seem to get the bulk of the views. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know. So the road trip ones were certainly something I watched a lot of other people's road trips when I was looking at buying the Tesla. I found them really helpful. I'll certainly do that trip to Brisbane, and we'll have that coming up in the next few weeks. Yeah, definitely. It's and that's I've watched a lot of Australian road trips just to get an idea of where the superchargers were, what they were like. Especially before I went to Melbourne and Adelaide, I watched a lot of those, which is good. It's great to be able to see before you do a trip roughly what's around the superchargers, what they're like. Okay, so we're going to do a membership giveaway. And it's just going to give 5 lucky members a free membership. Would have liked to have seen them go to some of you guys here, but otherwise, I can't control it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a shame, since I would have liked to have had them go to people that were watching the stream. It's a shame it doesn't do that. Good one, actually. I was going to talk about that one, Benny Boo. The New Water Park, it looks fantastic. I'm really impressed by some of the videos in the US. I'm hanging out for it to come out here. It hopefully will come out the next couple of updates, but it's interesting, actually. I've seen some people try to do reviews in Australia. They think they're using the New Water Park, but they're actually not. So because they're looking at the Tesla Vision display, they think it's actually the New Auto Park. But the New Auto Park, you'll know when it's active, because you can choose any car park within quite a large radius. So there's I've seen a couple of reviews from Australian YouTubers, claiming they're testing the New Auto Park, but it's just the old one with the new visuals. So some of the videos, I think I put one up on my first EV News episode. Some of the videos where they're actually using that new water park are quite amazing. It's some really difficult car parks, and they've the system just jumps straight in and does. Sometimes it's taken 3 or 4 maneuvers to get into the car park because it just was so hard to get into, was blocked by a truck and that kind of thing. But it's just done it really well. So I'm very keen to test it out, and as soon as it does come out, it'll be on my channel for sure. And yes, for sure, all of our first episode viewers are getting a blue wrench for the Benny Boo. Yeah, so 24.6.2 unfortunately still doesn't have it. I'm also waiting for the new adaptive headlight improvements, which we still haven't got here in Australia either. So each of those improvements have to go through the whole regulation process. So they just got released in Europe with 6.2 or 6.1, I think it was. And I think Thailand got it as well. So we shouldn't be too far away. Normally our regulators are very closely following Europe, and they tend to use whatever gets approved in Europe gets approved here pretty soon after. So I'm very keen for that. Yeah, Adelaide is nice. I'm very partial to a Barossa Shiraz, so that was the main reason for my trip down there. Cool. So you've got the current auto park. How do you find that? Yeah, Adelaide's got some good lifestyle, and being close to the winery is probably a bit dangerous for me, but nice. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to try the current auto park. It seems okay. It's not perfect, but I'm really impressed by the new one. So we've got the 2 power walls and a small solar panel that's only about 6 kilowatt. The home we're in is only temporary. We're posted down to Canberra at the moment, so I'm planning to get back to Brisbane hopefully in a couple of years' time. So we haven't got the setup I would like to have, but it does a good job for us. I mean, the batteries are the biggest thing. Powerwall 2s. I can't recommend them enough, especially when we have that access now to the wholesale power, and haven't paid a power bill for a good 7 months now. And actually, just I've earned over $1,000 from my power usage. So getting paid to charge the car and that kind of thing is excellent. Yeah, Simon. Good question. I think it'll come fairly soon after we get the new auto park. It hasn't been released in the States yet either, though, so it might take a couple of months at least. But we'll see. I mean, I think actually Smart Summon, if he's calling it. It's and there's also the Banish as well they've been talking about. So I think they're in the works, and hopefully they'll be coming here. They'll be I'm sure they'll be available without FSD being available in Australia. So I'm definitely keen on them. I think maybe a few months, but who knows. A Model 2. I think they will. It won't be the Model 2, but they'll be releasing some sort of a boxed model. They did talk about doing it using the same production lines initially, so it may be a smaller Model 3 or something like that. That may come as part of this 8D8 announcement, part of the Robotaxi platform. So it'll be interesting. I know there was that. I don't know if I've got it handy here at the moment. Let's look and see if I have. No, there was the image I showed on the first evening news episode where they had the new vehicles undercover, and they've got a van-sized vehicle, and there was 2 smaller vehicles. So it'll be interesting. I know the plan is to have this unboxed process where they have a number of different body shapes all using the same platform. So that could very well be either part of the 8D8 announcement or maybe soon after that. But I know they're definitely looking at that, within the next year or two. So I think there will be something smaller available probably by the end of next year, or at least announced. Whether it's available, especially in Australia, where it might not be available yet in the next year, but hopefully it's getting close. Yeah, I mean, there's also the charge on solar option. I kind of avoid that because for me, I count the opportunity cost. So if I charge from solar and don't charge the batteries up, then that solar energy that I would have charged the batteries up with may earn me $15 a kilowatt later on that night. So that's obviously the top end, but on average my feed-in rate could be 56 cents a kilowatt, so that's quite a bit of expense. So I try to charge the car during the day when it's cheapest, and it's usually especially in summertime it's a 0 cent feed-in rate or even negative, so I'm getting paid to charge. Actually, the Tesla in China, the figures I've seen, that they're the top-selling car. Certainly top-selling EV. I'm pretty sure they're the top-selling car for a couple of months this year. They're actually doing pretty well. I thought BYD was doing a lot better than Tesla, but the figures I've seen recently, they're doing quite well. Chinese, they certainly have a lot of brand loyalty to BYD, but Tesla are way up there, and I'm pretty sure they were outselling. I'm pretty sure so far this year they've been outselling BYD, at least in the EV market for certain. I'm not sure about with all vehicles. Ooh, okay. Sensei. Active BEV. I think Rivian is in trouble. I don't know that the VW deal, and the deal with VW has a lot of dependencies. It still has to be approved by the board. You're not getting the full $5 billion upfront. It's up to $1 billion initially, and then potentially more. The amount of money they're losing on vehicles. Fisker's obviously gone. There's another one I just can't think of the top of my head. Polestar, and they're all losing a lot of money per vehicle. So I think a lot of the EV brands are in trouble. I think Toyota's in real trouble, just to the fact that they've got no real leadership. They've got they seem to be just going from one idea to another and bringing out all these not even prototypes. They're bringing out all these claims of new engine types and that kind of stuff that sort of never eventuate. So Toyota's obviously got a lot of money, and they've got a lot of loyal customers, so they're not going to go anytime soon. But I think they're really going to fade away, the late 30s at least. If they don't go bankrupt, they'll at least be a much shadow of their current selves. Like I say, I think Ford's probably the most progressive as far as the ICE brands go, and the most likely to succeed. Okay, LFP, that's good. Yeah, mine aren't LFP. I know the new Tesla Powerwall 3 is an LFP one. I definitely like the LFP batteries. Yeah, the degradation on the Powerwalls have been pretty good. The two I've got here combined degradation is about 1.5%, which is they're 6 or 7 years old, so that's been good. I think with home batteries, the fact that they're only charging or discharging at 5 kilowatts is pretty good for degradation. It certainly helps. You're not doing a supercharged type ramming in 250 kilowatts and that kind of stuff. So it definitely helps the degradation. What I'm really keen to see is vehicle to load. I think that's the one thing that would be great to see on all vehicles. That would certainly make a massive difference, both to our overall country's energy needs. I won't get into the whole debate with nuclear and that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot of other options we can look at. Lucid, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Lucid are losing an absolute fortune. Yeah, Lucid and Polestar. Polestar have some big backers, but yeah, the amount of money these guys are losing per vehicle is just ridiculous. So I just can't see them turning it around. The amount of even Tesla themselves. I mean, they were so close to bankruptcy for a while there. But they got in early enough, and they had the guy that was had the nous and the wherewithal to try and turn things around. Made a lot of great decisions, and they've come out the other side and are making more money than anyone else. So yeah, I mean those companies are definitely I think on life support. Yeah, thanks Pete. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time. I'm conscious that also this is coming into dinner time, so maybe a 7 p.m. one will be better. We'll try it the next one and see how we go. Yeah, I think we'll probably call it. Thanks for joining. Thanks for those who are just watching. We'll keep this going and see how we go. Please, if you have any feedback, pass it on, and we'll have one of these for each EV news episode, and maybe even more if they get popular enough. And thanks for bearing with me. It was my first live stream, so I know it was pretty rough. Appreciate the support, and catch you guys next time.